phone screen, the computer screen, and then maybe you have a couple more devices, and we just need to make sure that when we're giving all that attention to all those screens, that we don't forget about nature and our relationship to nature and how important that is as a part of making sure that our being is running smoothly and on all cylinders and with all the most positive things in place. We need to keep that nature component bright and sunny and up front in our lives. A lot of people have lost that a little bit, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good morning and namaskar to everyone. And today's class is going to be, has a little for everyone, but a little bit of shoulder work and a little bit of hip work and a little bit of core in there somewhere. Oh, as my earring is slipping out of my ear. We should do some ear yoga today for our ears. So we'll start with breathing. So just finding a comfy position wherever you are, either on the floor or on a chair. And just closing the eyes for a moment, kind of relieving our brain of visual stimuli just to relax. Just to let the wrinkles in the fabric of our being get ironed out by stillness, by just a little bit less stimulation and focusing on the incoming breath, on the outgoing breath. Making sure that when we breathe in, we're breathing deeply into the abdominal area. Maybe even, sometimes I even pooch it out to emphasize where I want the breath to go. So when we exhale, the navel kind of goes into the spine. As we breathe in, the abdominal cavity fills with air and then empties the air on the exhale breath. Breathing in, breathing out. We can just mentally stuff our thoughts in little clouds and let them just float away. Letting them know that when they circle back, maybe we'll listen to them. So just being still. Maybe filling our hearts with the latest visual in our minds of the last time we were with nature. Something that we saw. And filling our hearts and mind with those images of the beauty of nature. Seeing if we can breathe in to 3 counts and breathe out to 3 counts. Bringing the palms together at the heart. Kind of inviting that heart space to invade our minds and invade our bodies. Love is the most important piece in our arsenal. It conquers all things. And we'll take this namaskar up, bringing the arms up over the head. And then we'll exhale down to the mat, bringing our hands to the mat and walking them away from the body. And breathing into our back body while we're here. Feeling that inhale and exhale breath all the way down to our sitting bones. Breathing into the back and the glutes. And then we're going to pull the hands up a little bit and walk them to the side so that we're now over our knee and exhale into our knee. So just collapsing into the knee. So we're on a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a diagonal. Breathing in and breathing out. And then crossing one hand over the other, we're going to come to the center and to the other side so that our torso is right over this knee. And then we're going to come down on that knee. Collapsing down on that knee. Breathing in and out. And then crossing the hands, stepping them over each other, coming back to the center. And then we'll walk the hands back to the body. As we walk them back to the body, we'll bring the arms and hands overhead. And we'll twist towards the side and bring those hands down and plant them in the earth. As we try to look over the shoulder. Breathing in and breathing out in the twist. I love you, Miles. Inhaling those hands and arms up, coming towards the center and going towards the other side and bringing them down. Twisting as we breathe in and breathe out. Feeling that groundedness and support of the earth. And then we'll lift those arms up. Coming to center, we're going to come down into tabletop. So I'm going to roll over my knees. Bring my feet out. And push myself back up into mountain pose. Inhaling and exhaling once we get there. Sending our roots, sinking them into the earth. Being that magnificent mountain, so we can all be magnificent today. Breathing in. Breathing out. And we'll bring one arm in front on a diagonal. So we're going to do our arm circles today, shifting to the side and releasing our arm behind us. Bringing it up on a diagonal, turning towards the side, exhaling that arm down. And then we'll do this one more time, inhaling it up, twisting to the side, and exhaling that arm down. And then we'll do it with the other arm. We'll bring it up, twist to the other side, and exhale that arm down. Bringing it around to the center, diagonally on the side, twisting, and bringing it around behind. And then we'll do that one more time, circling the arm up and around and down. And this time, of course, we'll bring both arms up and down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. We'll do it one more time. Getting those shoulders warmed up. And then we're going to circle them in front of the body. We're going to do figure eights. So moving those arms around in front. Making big figure eights. Maybe coming all the way around to both sides of our bodies. Clearing the air. Coming to the side one more time and then bringing them up overhead and being extended mountain. Hopefully there are no avalanches on your mountains today. Sinking those feet into the earth. And then we're going to exhale and fly all the way down to the earth. Inhaling up. Being that extended mountain again. And exhaling down. Coming all the way down to the ground. Inhaling up. And while we're up, we're going to stretch our legs so that they're as wide as our mats. Bringing the wings down. And we're getting ready for flying twist, which is sliding from side to side. And as we come to one side, we lift that back heel and twist the heel a little bit. And the arms are gently tapping the body. As we glide and twist from side to side. And then we'll bring the arms up to above waist level. Then shoulder level, bending those elbows. And then above the shoulders. Like we're flying. We're flying. And this is where the corners of the mouth also might go up. We might put that smile mudra on our faces. Whether we're feeling happy or not. Just engaging the power of mudras and the power that they have on the mind body. So mudras are with the hands. There's full body mudras, like shoulder stand is a mudra. And then there's the smile. Releasing those positive hormones. And then coming back down to shoulder level. Bending those elbows, coming down to waist level. And then dropping the hands all the way down so that they're gently tapping the body again. And slowing our rotation down and coming back into mountain pose. Bringing the hands to the heart. Breathing in. Breathing out. Sweeping those hands all the way up and then sweeping them all the way down to the earth. Putting the hands in the elbows and just hanging over our feet for a second. Again, getting into that lower back. You may want to glide from side to side. Dropping the hands to the earth and slowly lifting the back up. Allowing the head and hands to just relax. Bringing up each vertebra in the back one by one. Going up the sacral part, the lumbar, the thoracic, the cervical. And when we come up, we do this Captain Picard asana. Pulling your shirt down. And coming into a mountain with a pause. Expanding the heart. Expanding our smile. So we're going to come into warrior one. So bringing our left foot forward and our right foot back. Finding a position that is sustainable for your body today. Having the feet a little bit apart from each other. So the back foot's on a diagonal. Bringing the hands to the heart. Pressing those feet into the earth, making that connection with the earth. It's like your hotline to the planet. Inhaling those arms, sweeping them out to the sides and above. And exhaling into that front knee. So we want that, our stance to be 2.5 or 3 feet at least. So that when we bend that front knee, it's not hyperextending. So shining our lights into warrior one. Being that radiant warrior who meets life as it comes. And sometimes it comes as a curveball. Kind of sinking into that front leg and keeping the back vertical. Pressing back on the head to make sure your head is not coming forward, that it's staying in alignment with the body. And exhale the next breath, straightening that front knee, bringing the hands back home. Breathing in, breathing out. And this time we'll release the arms again. And as they swing up, we're going to do something different with the arms. We're going to have them at right angles like cactus. Exhaling into that front knee with our cactus arms on. And then we're going to turn our arms into a T. So when we turn into a T, we feel the Shoulder blades coming together in the back. And then we're going to extend our arms a little bit in the back. So they're going past the frontal body to the posterior body. We'll activate the shoulder blades a little bit more. Then relaxing and coming into a regular T in the frontal plane. And dropping the arms down. Just letting the arms and shoulders relax and bringing the hands back to the heart. So we're going to straighten that front knee. And then we're going to try this one more time. So sweeping those arms out to the sides and above, exhaling into that front leg, warrior one. Meeting life with whatever it throws to us. And then coming down into cactus with our arms at right angles. Then we're going to sweep into a T, feeling those shoulder blades making lemonade behind us. And then we're going to extend the arms back at a scooch. And then slide them to the front. And dropping them down, letting them relax. Bringing them over the head one more time, revisiting warrior, revisiting that inner courage. And then we're going to bring those hands right down to the front leg so that we're leaning forward a little bit. And we're going to bring that back leg up. Are you ready? Here we go. Bringing the feet so that they're side by side. Bringing the hands back to the heart and maybe shaking each foot out. And coming into mountain pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Entering that stillness for another breath or two. And then we're going to steady up our pose to do this on the other side. So bringing the other foot forward as the lead foot and the back foot a little bit towards the side of the mat on a diagonal. And once you find your pose a little bit, you can bring the hands to the heart. And we'll be pressing those feet into the earth. Breathing in, breathing out. As we sweep those hands up on the next inhale breath and exhale into that front leg. Breathing in, breathing out. As we get up to courageously meet a new day. Pressing those feet into the earth. Anchoring ourselves. And then on the next exhale, straightening that front leg, sweeping the arms down and back to the heart. Connecting with that heart space. Trying to be kinder each day, finding new ways to be kind. So then we'll inhale those arms out again. And this time we'll lower them down into the cactus arms and exhale into that front Taking a couple of rounds of breath here before we transition into the T-arms. And then we'll bring those T-arms a little bit behind us. Kind of stretching those shoulder blades and all those upper back muscles just a little bit more. And then we'll bring that T to the front a little bit. And then dropping those arms down, letting those shoulders release, letting them relax. And then bringing them up above as we encounter this warrior one pose again. And straightening the front leg, coming back to place of balance. Breathing in, breathing out. So here we go again on the next inhale, bringing those arms up. Extended mountain, exhale into warrior one, Virabhadra Asana. Then we'll lower the arms into those cactus arms once again. And invite one or two breaths while we're here with our cactus arms on. Although in real life, we try not to be prickly. Then we'll come down into our T-arms, which is what we do before we hug someone. So you can imagine that we're hugging the world with our sinking into the front knee. And then pulling the arms a little bit behind into that posterior plane. And then bringing them forwards and dropping those arms down. Bringing them up for one last warrior one. And then we're going to bring the arms down to the knee. Getting ready to bring that back leg forward. So leaning forward a little bit and then bringing that foot up. Paralleling our feet up. Bringing the hands to the heart. Closing the eyes for a minute. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. So then we'll come into the wall for a balanced pose. So coming with our back sides near the wall or into the wall. And we're going to practice tree pose today because the trees are so beautiful in winter. You can see them, their whole structure, the skeleton of the trees, and you can see those points in their life where they've had a challenge or two or been struck by lightning or a difficult weather pattern. So we'll begin by doing sapling, which is with the ball of the foot to the side and sinking that root of that foot into the tree or into the floor. Bringing those hands to the heart and inhaling up and opening. So we can keep that foot here, or you can bring it up to the ankle, between the ankle and the knee, or you can bring it above the knee. So we try not to put it on the knee. So coming into that position and smiling and breathing. Keeping this knee to the side as much as possible because we're trying to open that hip. So how can we maintain our mental equipoise, our mental balance, and even smile and breathe and be aware of the breath when we're experiencing challenges, like a balance pose. So especially when we're using the wall, we can remember that even in the balance pose, that knee is supposed to be soft in that base leg so that it's not cranked back. Perhaps remembering a tree in your neighborhood. Breathing in. Trying to breathe in and breathe out at least to 2, maybe 3. And then we'll bring the hands together, bringing the branches together and down, down, down to the heart. And bringing this foot back. So we might shake out both the feet before we try this again. So then we'll set up against the wall another time. And take the other foot out to the side. So pointing the knee to that wall over there. And once again, bringing the hands to the heart. Beginning and ending each pose in love and kindness for the body. And then raising this up, so it kind of elevators up and opens. And once you feel stable, then you can place your foot wherever you would like it to be this time. So you can keep it on the earth. Some people will even put their foot on top of their foot, put their toes there. And then you can go to below the knee or above the knee. Seeing that universal tree who is tolerant of all living beings and welcomes all in that shelter of the tree. So how can we synchronize our life waves with the cosmic waves that are continuously traveling through the universe? Engaging that smile mudra again if you dare. Breathing in, breathing out. And you're holding your magnificent tree. Oh gosh, everybody's magnificent today. And then bringing those branches together and down. And eventually bringing that other trunk down. Shaking those feet out. And we're going to try this one more time on each side. So going back to the original leg. Setting up your pose. Starting with the feet, the positioning of the body. Placing that head in that blue sky. Bringing the hands to the heart. As you begin to come into that pose or that expression of the pose that you want to do today. Remembering all those tree spirits. So it's I guess we really wouldn't be here without trees. So they contribute quite a lot to the creation. God bless them, each and every one.
And we have to maintain them too.
Absolutely. Fortunately, we're going to get 2 snows coming up soon that'll water them, but we may need to get out there and water them also.
A lot
Thank
of
you.
tree trimming in our neighborhood.
Oh yeah, I need to get on that.
Yep.
I talked to my husband about that last week, but we have not walked the talk yet.
You should talk to Miles. We have a guy.
Oh my goodness. And then bringing those branches together once again and bringing them down. So when we talk about taking care of our community, it's also the plants as well as the humans and the animals, and setting up on the other side. You know, plant, sometimes it's nice to go and water that plant that's on the corner that you're wondering, who waters that one? It's not really on anybody's property. And then taking those branches up. And even during the snows, when we get those heavy wet snows, I sometimes go out with a formidable stick and knock the snow off some of the trees that are kind of having a hard time. Breathing in, breathing out. Being that tree who weathers all kinds of high winds and storms, and they all come, and the trees are very resilient. And that's what we're expressing in this pose, that resilience of the tree, and how we want to have that in our mind and hearts as well. Coming back to the heart, bringing our other trunk down and kind of kicking both the feet before we come down into a seated position. Coming down on our mats into turtle. Bringing those soles together and rounding the back because it's been working so hard. Coming down into our inner turtles and thinking of how we can free ourselves from things that we don't want to have, whether it's a material possession or whether it's some thoughts that you don't want to retain. How to get those defective thoughts to move on. Like we only want to hold on to the positive and cheerful thoughts. So we've got to have lots of tools in our toolkits for that. Coming into our inner core of our being. And resting our awareness there. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then gently pushing ourselves up, maybe coming into a cross-legged position. Getting ready for the side lateral, so bringing one hand to the side and the other arm up and over the head. And my hand that's on the floor, the elbows bent. And I'm trying to keep my opposite glute down on the floor as we engage the side stretch. Revisiting our side body. Breathing in, breathing out. Sometimes you can come down on your forearm and sometimes not. So asking your body what we're ready for today. Inhaling both arms up as we come down on the other side. I'm going to scooch over to the side a little bit more. So I can come down over here. Giving a stretch to the side body, but also a lot of the organs here are being stretched. Breathing in, breathing out as we're coming to the side. Maybe looking to see if the forearm can come down to the side or not. And also keeping this opposite hip down. Inhaling back up. We're going to do this one more time on each side. Coming over to the side. Stretching and not straining. Being that rainbow. So the arm can either be straight or it can be curved. Rounding that hip into the earth. Feeling that stretching, inhaling, advancing back up, and then we're going to slide to the other side. I'm going to have this relationship with my chair here. Inhaling back up, and with our arms still up, we're going to do this up and down motion with our arms as if we have paintbrushes in each hand and we're painting the walls. So we're going to bring our hands down and then take them back up. And we might even turn to the side. So we're going to give this whole room a makeover as we slowly paint the walls coming over to this side. And then we'll go around again. You know, what color is joy? What color is contentment? And so we can color those walls and the air all around us with those colors as well. And once again, bringing those arms and hands down to the mat and walking them away from the body as we did earlier in the class. Breathing into that back body again. Inhaling those arms back up and exhaling them down. Then we'll bring both legs in front for a twist. So we're going to take them both on a diagonal and then put one leg and cross it over the other. And then we're going to raise the opposite hand of that knee and bring it over and try to put the elbow of that arm on top of the knee. And then taking that other arm and scanning it around the landscape until it comes behind the body. And looking over at your shoulder. So squaring the shoulders and turning around the belly. Into the Marichi twist, which I sometimes call the mariachi twist. Coming to the side, looking over the shoulders. So giving a nice turn to the neck. Nice turn to the hips and the organs in the body. Giving them a massage as we turn to the side. And then we'll lift this arm on the knee up and bring it towards the front and down and unfurl our whole body as we get ready to do this on the other side. So taking the other leg and putting it over the knee, the straight leg, I should say. And bringing the opposite arm over this knee. And the leftover arm will scan this side of the room and come around behind the body. So we're squaring our shoulders and rounding the body as we round it to the side, vertical back, broadening those shoulders. Coming to the side, looking over that back shoulder, giving a little twist to the neck. Breathing in and breathing out. Trying to keep that knee up because it wants to fall to the side sometimes. And then bringing both arms up and around to center and to the front, and then we'll unfurl the legs. So once again, we're going to come into a cross-legged position, and we're just going to orbit around the body a couple times. Maybe one time in one direction, and one time in the other direction. And we're going to come into Navasana, which is one of the boat poses. So this one is with the feet in front, and we're going to bend those knees. Kind of wiggle and ground yourself into the earth because you're going to raise those feet soon. So we're going to put our hands under our knees, on our thighs, and coming in with the inhale breath, bringing these legs up. Holding on to those legs, trying to keep them horizontal to the ground, trying to keep the back nice and long. And you can press the head back a little bit so that your ears are over your shoulders and the head isn't doing this forward chin thing. And then we're going to breathe while we're here to make it even more challenging. And then exhaling and coming down. So as we come down, we're going to orbit again, one time in one direction, because we'll come back and do this again. And then setting our legs up again for repeating that pose we just did. Putting your boat out on the lake so you can slide your hands around the knees. And on the inhale breath, coming up with those legs and feet. Inviting your back to be straight. Bringing the head back. And we're breathing. Nice long breath. And crossing the legs, coming down, and this time we will orbit in the other direction. So we're going to do this one more time. So pulling those abdominal muscles in as well when we're doing this. Because it's an abdominal strengthener. So then we'll come into it again. We're having our feet hip width apart, sliding our hands under the knees, and coming up. So this time as we come up, can you let go of your knees and put your arms parallel? So they're right there with your legs. And we're breathing. Pulling the head back, nice long back. And then let's fold the legs and come down and orbit around again. Relaxing all those muscles that we're working so hard. And then we'll change directions and go the other way. Ironing out all those wrinkles. So then we'll come into the cat-cow. So we'll roll over the knees. Coming into tabletop. Knees hip width apart. You might want to put a, because I'm going to do it, either roll up your mat or you can put a blanket under your knees. Put the hands shoulder width apart and the knees hip width apart. Inhaling and making that valley in the back. Tailbone is pointed towards the sky. Exhaling, doming the back. And sometimes you can push your back down to near the heels. As the breath invites you to breathe in, coming back into tabletop, building that valley in the back, pointing the tailbone upward, and then exhaling, pointing the tailbone down and coming back. Inhaling and coming up. The wave begins with the tailbone and then exhaling and going down. So we'll do 2 more of these at your own pace. Inhaling, building the valley, pointing the tailbone up. Exhaling, bringing the navel up to the spine, rounding the back. Moving towards the heels if you choose. And then inhaling one more time. Coming back into tabletop. And as we do that, we're going to stretch out one leg behind us. Coming down on the big toes on that leg. And then we're going to take the other leg back to meet it. So we're in a diagonal line, pulling in that abdominal, those abdominal muscles into plank pose, which we're just going to hold for a second. And then we're going to drop those knees down into tabletop once again. And if you want to come on your wrist, you can make a fist with your wrist for tabletop, and then we'll bring the leg that is bent up to the arm and sweep the leg back. Inhaling, knee to elbow, exhaling behind. Inhaling, knee to elbow. Helps to release the back. And then we're going to do it on the other side. So we'll bring that knee home. And bring the other knee up to the elbow. Sweeping it back. Elbows. Exhale back. Inhale to the elbow. Exhale back. And we'll do that a few more times. And then we'll bring that knee home. And we're going to engage plank one more time. So you might want to put your starfish hands down. We're going to start with straightening one leg on the ball of the foot. And then we'll send the other leg back. trying to make a slide, diagonal line, pulling that abdominal section up, and then release down into the floor. So then with can do the hands and the fist again. We're going to raise the right arm in front. Raise that left arm behind, or left leg. Into sunbird. And then we're going to try to bring that arm and leg in without putting them down. Stretching them out again. Bringing them in. Stretching them out. Bringing them home. And then we're going to try the same sunbird variation with the other side, lifting the opposite leg up. Opposite arm up. Then we're going to try to bring them in and sweep them back out. Bringing them in. So we're scrunching them in, bringing them out, and bringing them in one more time, and sending them out, and coming back home. So then we'll get into whatever variation, spreading the knees a little bit more, so we can come down into child's pose. Honoring the earth, honoring all living beings, being mindful of those knees. So if the knees are talking to you, you might want to keep your hips up a little high and just bring the chest down. So modifying the pose so that it's user-friendly for you. Coming down to the earth and resting there. Letting that awareness rest in your heart. Breathing in, breathing out. And maybe smiling for no reason at all. Bringing that smile into your being. How can we make joy a spiritual practice? How can we bring joy into our daily lives? So sometimes in times of personal challenges, in this case, it's like a global challenge, but it's in times that we're having a difficult time navigating those waves, that you really appreciate joy. And that it's kind of like every day is like a scavenger hunt, you know, looking for those hidden expressions of joy that appear unexpectedly throughout different intervals of the day. And how to search for that. It's kind of like, where's Waldo? Where's joy? So coming back into tabletop, we're actually going to drop into Cobra. So as we drop to the floor and onto our bellies, with our faces into the mat, face to face with Mother Earth. Breathing and lying heavy in the earth. I always like to say puddling into the earth. We're blending with the earth, and then on the next inhale, lifting the hands and the torso. Coming up and then escalatoring down. Coming back into the earth. And inhaling and coming up again. So we're doing flying cobra first with the arms and hands hovering above the earth and then coming down, descending down into the earth. Inhaling, and then as we come up, scooting those forearms forward, coming up into Sphinx. So we're raising the elevation a little bit, feeling that back, what's okay, what's not okay. And as we exhale down, lifting those arms again and bringing the rest comfortably beside your sides. Bringing the forehead down to Mother Earth. Then we're going to do this one again, inhaling up, raising the arms and hands, scooching them forwards, coming up a little higher. Kind of listening to the back and all the muscles. As if to say, is this okay? Just checking in. Coming up. And then exhaling. And as we exhale, lifting those arms, lying them next to the body as we come down. So on those next two revolutions of Cobra, you can choose which level you want to come. But you can always come up on the hands, which are near the ears, and just come up a little bit. So sometimes it's nice to get that weight-bearing pose in the arms, even if it's just for a short period of time, because we probably don't lift weights every day. So a little bit of arm bearing is good, exhaling back down. And you can flip your arms, your wrists around to give them a break. So the palms might be facing upwards, for example. Breathing in and out, another round of breath. And then turning your hands around, engaging your hands or whatever position is best for you, and coming up into Cobra again, rising from darkness to light. With a smile, getting those healthy, positive hormones in, and exhaling back down. So this time, maybe stacking the hands underneath the forehead. And just relaxing into the earth. While I go warm up our musicians. Letting that awareness just rest in the heart. Relaxing in the heart. So then we're going to put one arm, lifting it above, I'm sorry, you can't see it, over the head, and we're going to roll over, pushing with the other arm until we're on our back. And then we're gonna do the scooch mudra, scooching back on our backs. So we're gonna start here with our knees bent and the soles of our feet into the floor. The legs are kind of hip width apart or wider. They can actually come out to the sides of your mat because we're gonna do the spinal rumba. So it's doing the rumba, but doing it on our backs. So dropping the knees to one side, bringing the knees to the center and dropping them on the other side. Greasing those hip joints. So the legs are pretty wide. So we're going to do this 3 or 4 times dynamically, moving the legs from side to side. And then we're going to drop them to the right, and we're just going to try to relax with the legs on this side. If you have a pillow or a blanket or book or anything, you can slide that under your legs if you wish. And just bringing that awareness into the legs, into the hip, as we just rest for a moment in this pose with both knees separated and dropping to one side. It's kind of coaxing the hip muscles to relax. And sometimes I'll actually bring my hands down and rub my hips to try to facilitate that process. My hips get so tight. It's like, just let go. How can we facilitate that release in the hips? So sometimes a touch can help the muscles to let go. And then we'll bring those knees to the center once again and take them to the other side and we're gonna go to each side a little bit. And then we're going to exhale them both to the other side that we haven't done yet. Just allowing the hips to relax. And then once again, if you need to roll your fingers down your hips a little bit, just to encourage them to surrender, to let go. You can do that. So we'll be here for 1 or 2 more rounds of breath. Hips. Practice releasing in this direction. So then we'll bring those knees up front and center so they're still bent. And we're going to go into the thread the needle or the figure 4. So it's bringing your right heel up and putting it on top of your left knee. So that you now have this figure 4 going on. And then putting one arm through the hole that is there now. Lifting your knee towards the chest. And putting your outside arm around the outside of the knee. So coming into eye of the needle. Bringing your knee towards your chest, and this really stretches the glutes, stretches the sciatic nerve bundle. So while we're here, we might have our fingers on top of the knee, and then we're going to move them under the knee actually, so they're more on the thigh. So we can lift that leftover leg up to the ceiling, brightening the foot, making it nice and square, and then bringing it down, holding it back up, holding it down. And then we can make circles with that lower leg, or squares as the case may be. Opening our hips, making leg circles, and then circling that leg around the other way. Raising it to the ceiling, flexing the foot, pointing the toe, then the heel, the toe, and the heel, and then bringing that foot all the way down. So then we're going to unfurl our body once again, and this time pressing the other ankle and bringing it, inviting it to meet this knee, creating that eye of the needle again. So putting one arm in there and the other arm, bringing the leg close to the chest, bringing the other hand around the knee. So sometimes we have tightness in the body and it's hard to keep the head down. This is where a pillow or a little blanket under the head sometimes helps in this particular pose. Once again, holding that leg in a position that stretches those muscles. And then we'll move the hand from in front of the knee to behind the knee so that we can again do this series of squaring the foot to the ceiling and then dropping that lower leg down, stretching it to the ceiling, then bringing it down, and making circles with that leg. I'll see this leg, I can make circles, the other one I cannot. And then switching directions. Making that circle of life. And then we'll bring that foot, squaring it on the ceiling first, but then maybe pointing the toe, pointing the heel, stretching all those muscles in the back of the leg. You can really feel it there. Pointing the toe and pointing the heel. And then dropping that leg down, just releasing that leg. And then we'll bring that leg, release the leg, and bring it all the way down to the mat, unfurling the other knee. Coming down and just taking a breath or two, closing the eyes, relaxing the arms into the earth. Relaxing the legs. Taking another round of yogic breath, inhaling and exhaling. And we're going to try one more. So with the legs straight on the floor, we're going to try the snow shuffle. So the snow shuffle is lifting your right leg and then putting the left leg above it, the right leg above it, the left leg above it, so that the legs are climbing up to the ceiling. And then it's just like cross-country skiing, and then going backwards, putting 1 foot down, 1 foot down below that one, and then continuing that walk all the way down. So you can be, it's kind of like a pair of scissors opening and shutting as we're moving them up. So first the right foot, then bring the left foot ahead, the right foot ahead, the left foot ahead, the right foot ahead, until they're, both feet are planted in the ceiling. And while we're up here, we're gonna rock our hips from side to side as we place our hands underneath our tailbone, because it makes this a little bit easier. And then we're gonna walk each leg down. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, coming down to the earth. And then we're gonna do that again. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, till they're both feeties are on the ceiling. And then we're gonna send them each down, one at a time. 1 foot and the other foot. This time we're gonna bring the right leg and we're gonna kind of tick that leg up as it comes up to the ceiling. And then we're gonna tick that right leg down. And we're gonna tick it all the way down to 4 o'clock, and then we're gonna hold it there. And we're gonna breathe with a smile while we're holding it. Shining with a heart. And then lowering that leg all the way down. So we're gonna do the next leg. Bring in the other leg, ticking it up. The hands of the clock, so it goes at 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way to 12 o'clock. And then sits there proudly at 12 o'clock. And then we're going to lower it down. So coming down to 1, 2, 3, and then when we get to 4 again, we're going to hold it with a smile. Breathing 2 or 3 cycles of breath, and then we'll lower it down. So we're going to do that with the original leg one more time, ticking it up from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then to 12. And then we're going to tick it back down. And when we get to 4 o'clock, we're going to hold that leg suspended right above the earth. And then let it go. And we'll do that with the other leg as well. So ticking it up till it's at 12. And then ticking it back down. And remembering what happens at 4 o'clock, holding it there. And dropping it down. So before we go into Shavasana, which I think it's about that time, we're going to bring both the legs up into Happy Baby. So in Happy Baby, we bring our arms right in the center and wrap them around the outsides and roll out our back from side to side. Goodness. This is like a joyful pose. I should put a class together someday of all the joyful poses that make our hearts smile. And Happy Baby is one of them. Rolling from side to side and eventually bringing your legs down, either straight out on the mat or bent and leaning into each other, whatever pose you prefer for deep relaxation. Resting there, feeling the body getting heavy into the earth. Tuning into that breath, the rhythm of the breath, placing your awareness on that breath, which is your unique rhythm. Everybody has a different rhythm of breath. They have particular ways of breathing and shifting the breath. So bringing the awareness to that rhythm. Which we're always trying to coordinate with that cosmic rhythm by listening to that inner voice and doing those practices and routines that we do that helps us to stay connected to that inner source. Listening to the waves on the beach with each breath. Imagining the breath as those waves. Coming onto the shore, going out to the sea. Always trying to stay connected to that inner fountain of love, which is inside our being, which surrounds us every day. Baba Nam, Kevalam, Baba Nam, Baba Nam, Kevalam, Baba Nam, Baba Nam, Kevalam, Baba Nam. Babinam, Baba, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, Kevalam, Babinam, May you find joy in the beauty of nature. Namaskar. Thank you for coming.